don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. It don't mean a thing, all you got to do is sing. Makes no difference if it's sweet or hot. Give that rhythm everything you've got, boy. It don't mean a thing if it hadn't got that swing. Of course I'm alive. I already know that I'm alive. God damn it. How do I gotta fucking do the screenshot buttons? Little bonus points for anybody who shows up early, I guess. They didn't turn on any of the... Let me check my volume levels. How are the letter E?
I mean, look how soft I am. It would be weird if you didn't just climb on and kick back. I'm snuggly as hell.
Cool, I think I could probably stand to turn that volume up a little more. How about that?
I made banana bread. I then ate that banana bread, so I made another loaf. And then I ate that. The moral of this story is that it's the thought that counts.
She's just so funny. Okay, I'm just gonna put this as a side video later. So hello to all you lovely people out there in internet land. Comic Auzi is doing this shit again. Cause there's a few characters that I have yet to show off here explicitly. And this is just my life now. I think this is one of them.
If you can't handle me at my crispy, you don't deserve me at my kemenmai.
I have no idea what that means. I don't even know what your story is. In fact, we need to see your story. Here we go. Reminisce on this. One day while surfing online, you make a craving for some rice. So you order the most technologically advanced rice cooker from Japan. Oh, I'm gonna date a rice cooker? What? It arrives within the hour, much to your delight. Greedy little booger. The packaging is super tough. Tricky though. Okay, the packaging is The packaging is super tricky though, and it takes you a while to navigate the mysterious symbols until finally you decipher the instructions, cut the packaging and tape, and oh, luggage barrier crushed.
Hi! Hajimemashite!
Out pops a beautiful robot girl who excitedly exclaims, "It appears Japanese rice cookers are multifunction. At least you'll have someone to keep you company while waiting for your rice to cook."
Mac and cheese? Oh, goodness, no. Please allow me to make you a beautiful risotto instead. Out of rice.
Rice risotto? Wait, what is risotto? I don't know. I think I've had risotto before. Maybe I've had risotto. Do I haven't? What the hell is? Fuck it.
Oh my! My manufacturer used foam packaging to ship me. They should have used something far safer and superior. Rice.
You are obsessed with rice.
I thought I was being shipped to a Michelin 3-star restaurant. Well, I hope you can find use for industrial amounts of rice.
An industrial rice cooker. That explains nothing.
Mac and cheese? Hajimemashite. Odango desu. Gohan wo taberu?
Poke.
No! Do not fiddle with my default settings without first consulting the manual. The third rule of rice robotics demands I protect rice at all costs.
But not me. Fuck me. Am I right?
You're not thinking of putting that in me, are you? Well, turn my settings to rice pudding and let's try our best.
Okay.
Congratulations! You have completed the Odongo tutorial. Welcome to system setup. Are you ready?
I suppose so.
Fantastic! Your days of burnt rice and impersonal pots and pans are over. Happy life and happy rice!
Oh boy. This escalated quickly.
You have reached a sufficient confidence level to cook rice safely. You may use me at your leisure.
I know. Wait a minute.
To make rice. I often forget to add that crucial detail. Please do not use your Odongo for purposes not listed in the manual, or you may void your warranty.
Oh, I think I'll be avoiding some more decent. Anyway, actually, on that topic, Age of the Robot is version 2.0. That is silly as all get out. But without the robot context, that's bad. That is really bad. Oh no. That's bad. Oh boy.
Life is what happens when you're busy making rice.
Life is what happens? Isn't that a wives' tale? I think you can totally remove the tags on your mattress. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. I mean, void my warranty for shit. I'm not gonna replace my mattress after I bought it. At least I don't think I am. Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I'm the dumbass.
I was not aware I was ticklish. Once more, I am deeply surprised at some of my core functionality, and have many questions for my creator.
I can imagine you would. The creators also had a thing for like pants, entirely optional.
If you're feeling steamed from a hard day, why not steam some rice?
Rice cooker.
Pretend the hard rice grains are your problems, and
Rice
turn
cooker.
them into fluffy, delicious opportunities.
Yes, yes, of course, rice. 'Cause the first word I think of when I think of rice is fluffy.
You seem to be very chatty with your appliances. Shall I install a conversation subroutine?
Perhaps.
I'll need to make room in my memory, which is currently filled with 500 terabytes of rice facts and recipes.
That sounds useless. I don't think I need 100 terabytes of rice facts or recipes. I don't eat that much rice.
I found your old rice cooker in the pantry today. I'm saddened to report that it was mysteriously destroyed in a small fire. How strange.
How strange indeed. But I mean, that thing was bound to burst into flames. Obviously, I bought you to replace the old rice cooker.
If you're feeling... I found your old... I noticed that you only have one bag of parboiled rice in your kitchen. You are not putting that in me. Ew.
I don't think we need to talk about who's putting in what now.
You're not thinking of putting...
Okay.
I have prepared over 4,000 servings of rice for you. And I just realized I didn't ask you if you like rice. Well, do you?
I would not have bought a rice cooker if I didn't like rice! Say it with me, everybody! It's the dumbest thing in the world!
Oh, thank the makers. The level of cringe in a negative response would have been enough to initiate a core meltdown. Ouchie.
Ouchie? Ouchie?
Every grain of rice has infinite potential. Also approximately 1 sextillion atoms. That's a 1 with 21 zeros behind it. Wow!
What the Her particle effects are jelly-filled donuts. Nothing beats a jelly-filled... Why are your hearts the little rice cakes? The little rice balls? What the fuck? Oh, Lord.
I was not aware I was ticklish.
Getting
Once
more excitable.
I am technically capable of cooking quinoa,
Oh, yeah?
but doing so makes me sob uncontrollably.
Huh.
This is a known bug and should be fixed in a future update.
And then we'll get Odongo version 3.0, right?
I noticed that you only have one bag. I found your old rice. If you're feeling steam, I am technically. If you're feeling, you seem to be. I am technically
I
capable
think
of cooking
that's
quinoa.
all you have to say.
but
How
doing
about
so makes me
how about
sob
a gift? You probably
uncontrollably.
have a different reaction to
This
that now.
You're not thinking
Apparently
of putting.
not. Let's just do it.
I have wonderful news.
Huh?
My 3.0 update is ready.
I did
Which
not know
updates
this.
My capacity for friendship and companionship.
It does! I hope this changes accordingly.
It also updates my rules of rice robotics in order to avoid a known issue concerning world domination. I think we can all be excited about that.
Yes.
Hello! I was thinking of visiting my cousin Roomba today, but she sucks.
Ah! 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 Bad puns are my game! Shut the fuck up! Okay, anyway, but on those topics, seriously. It's so funny. Wait, version 2.0? I thought you said the update was ready. Hang on, hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Ah, man. You. I need to text someone in real life. Give me a minute. Alright, now, what was I? Rice things. Rice things. Talk.
Wanna impress the ladies? Then stuff your...
I'm sorry!
Having a
what?
Nina,
What?
would you care... Having... Nina, would you care for some tea?
Nina, wait.
would
No,
you
no, no.
Wanna impress the ladies? Then stuff your underwear with rice. It will accentuate your assets. And you'll be ready for any meal emergencies.
That sounds disgusting! You may need to download the update? Where would I download the update? It doesn't really have that fucking kind of option. That's gross! You don't get to dodge that!
If you find your neck is commonly sore, try stuffing your pillowcase with rice.
Rice,
It's
rice,
nature's
rice,
pillow.
rice, rice!
Would you care for some tea? Shall I leave room for cream, sugar, or rice? Wait, how silly of me. Of course you need room for rice.
Obsessed, obsessed, I tells you. When we get to the 4.0 update, you're gonna be less obsessed, I hope.
If you find your neck is common, if you're pleased with me, don't forget to leave a 5-star review. If not, then I have failed my mission and dishonored my creators. Boo!
Okay, gift time.
This is neat. It reminds me of rice, and that I like it without being able to articulate why. Wonderful!
Okay. I suppose. That's probably fine.
An evening stroll is perfect for building one's appetite. And the moon looked just like a giant rice ball. How wonderful!
Shut up.
You're here! Can we go out for dinner tonight? I have the hugest craving I need to satisfy. You'll never guess.
Oh, let me guess. Is it cheese puffs?
What? No, silly. Soy sauce and sake. I can make rice myself, you goose.
She's obsessed, I tells ya, obsessed.
According to my geosync rice-eye satellite, there are almost 24,000 kilograms of rice within 1 hour of my position. Let's get cooking.
Shut up about the rice.
If you're feeling under the weather, why not try a sauna? It'll clear your sinuses. And you'll also get to feel what it's like to be inside of me.
Hey now. Why the hell would I want to figure that out? I can't imagine why I need to know that.
I like it when you touch me.
Hey now.
I like it better when you hold me. This list goes on and becomes much more explicit shortly.
Yeah, oh, oh, yes? Oh? 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 Oh?
I enjoy this display of affection and will return the gesture by blowing you a kiss. Mwah!
Sweet. But robot's not gonna have a... My mistake?
I had a wonderful time. That beach is pure paradise. That was wordplay.
That was bad wordplay.
You were looking as fresh as a rice ball today.
Oh, shut
and
up.
Twice as scrumptious.
Hey now.
Rice is an important part of a balanced breakfast. And an imbalanced one, too. Care for some rice milk?
No. No. Don't make me Ralph.
According to Fumi, rice plays an important role in the future post-apocalyptic economy. I can't wait for that to happen.
I can wait. I don't want the apocalypse. Just don't...
You're getting incredibly skilled in the art of rice making. Do you think you can master its most intimate secrets?
Wait a minute.
Excellent. Whoever controls the rice controls the universe.
I mean, maybe that would have been true at some point in history, but not today? Is that a big thing now? Then? When? Who are you?
I saw you admiring a slow cooker yesterday. Slow cookers are fantastic for rounding out a meal. Shall we get one for a 3-way?
What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck? Stop talking. Oh Lord! Oh my gosh! I don't want to know.
Life is not measured by how many grains of rice we take, but by how much rice takes our breath away.
Sure, right.
Seeing you scoop that rice gets me a little steamy.
I know.
I bought you some rice paper. It's perfect for writing love notes. Please try it.
That is not what rice paper is for, you silly goose.
If you're feeling under the weather, life is not measured. Fun fact, the folktale of the Princess and the Pea was originally called The Royalty and the Rice. The rice was probably changed to a pea by Nazis.
Hey, wait, what? Wait. That was random? What? I'm sorry? That is weird.
Life is not. I bought you some rice. According to food, life is not rice. See me. If you're. I bought rice. Here. See me. You scoop. According to. See.
Blah blah blah. How about candles?
This is worth its weight in rice.
Oh yeah.
Which is not a stable economic measurement, but I literally just can't seem to help myself.
You really can't. You cannot. Okay, what do you have to say about the autumn breeze?
Nature is so interesting. It's filled with so much weird and inedible stuff, but is also the source of rice. Isn't it wonderful?
Can you shut up about rice for 2 goddamn minutes?
Do you think in the future people and robots might be more than friends?
A lot of people have speculated on this idea. Methinks, yeah, probably.
Oh, what a relief. I mean, I know that I'll undergo any upgrades or updates to satisfy your hunger.
Wait.
I will require assistance for basic maintenance. I need someone to help polish hard-to-reach places. Would you mind?
I don't want to say this on the internet. No comment. No comment. You motherfucker. Okay.
Remember, with great rice comes great responsibility. Don't overcook it.
Yeah, you're so funny.
Rice rhymes with nice, but it also rhymes with vice. Warning.
Yeah.
I highly recommend not just turning me on and leaving. It's a safety concern. I might get too hot.
Different puns. Finally, something other than rice.
I disposed of my instructions. You clearly now have intimate knowledge of my inner workings.
Oh, the jokes now.
Someone once said that rice is nice, but liquor is quicker. That has a grain of truth to it, but I still don't like it.
No, you really wouldn't. I don't like that either. I'll agree with you on that. But stop talking about rice!
Rice may fill the empty space in my steamer, but you fill the empty space in my heart. Metaphor complete.
See this bitch? She shut up about rice at all.
My favorite treat? Rice Krispie treats, of course. Rice mixed with my other favorite thing, marshmallows!
Is Uncle Ben... Is there something I'm not... Is there an Uncle Ben rice-related thing that I'm not understanding? Because I will screech like an eagle if there is something there. I'm not happy, Bob. Just stop it! Shoot me now!
You're very kind to me. I enjoy receiving gifts from you. It makes me feel warm and tingly, like I'm in the middle of a batch of saffron
rice!
When I see you, I get this weird feeling, like my insides are cooking rice, even when there's no rice. Do you feel the same?
I feel like you should stop talking about rice. Looks like we're gonna need to install the update that says no more rice talk for you. Just, what update is that?
Oh, wow. And your insides don't even cook rice. What is this even?
Let's
sit together and whisper sweet nothings. I'm not sure what sweet nothings are, but I know what I hope they are. Hint, it rhymes with ice.
You hope it's lice! Well, I just went to my doctor and apparently there's a bunch of lice all up in my hair, so you're lucky that way.
I usually live life 40 minutes at a time, but with you, everything feels slow cooked and special.
Oh, okay, now that's really sweet. Mostly because you didn't say rice!
According to the ancient texts, in the beginning there was rice. And it was good.
Yeah! Rice is nice! Shut the fuck up.
Remember, with great rice...
Shut up.
Please don't yank on my power cable.
Ooh.
It could prove to be a safety hazard.
I know.
You don't see me yanking on your cable, do you?
Not yet! Anyway. Slippers. Slibbies.
You're very kind to me. I enjoy receiving gifts from you. It makes me feel warm and tingly, like I'm in the middle of a
bash of saffron rice. What did you say about the movie, anyway?
There's nothing like butter and salt in a large bag of theater rice. That's weird. I meant to say rice. Uh-oh. That's definitely a bug.
Oh yeah, we'll get that patched out immediately.
I wish to use a metaphor. You are my chef, and I am your sous chef. We should engage in intimate relations.
The boss-employee relationship is let's not use that metaphor. That's a bad metaphor.
Hooray! I was concerned my expressive but oblique description would interfere with my proposition. Engage intimate relations mode. Hello. I must confess,
Hey.
seeing you in a tight shirt preheats me instantly, in a clear violation of thermodynamics.
I'm sorry. Didn't mean to upset you like that.
間違えた。あなたは私のモードを日本語モードへ変更しました。
I think that's all that I have time for in these shenanigans. So we're gonna take a little break. Actually, there's something to collect here, so collect that. I think that's all that I have time for this one. But yeah, that's Odango now. So, whoop do you fuck? Okay. Why do I do this to myself? No, not that one. No, there was something. Oh, yeah. The turn off the voices button and save. Got it. Be right back. I will return. I'm back. Yeah, squad. Yuck it up. Yuck it up. Preamble-ly bamble. It's a quiet day here in the land of something. But food is love. Food is life giving. I need a napkin. I need a napkin. Such a whimsical world, you know. One minute we're talking about rice, the next minute we're eating burgers. Food is probably more appealing to you than it is to me right now. Oh no, that's no good. I've been there, buddy. Hope you get better soon. That's unfun. That is the most unfun. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow is Wednesday, which means there should be a new episode of the Escape from Vault Disney podcast, which can be found through the Twitter at EFVD Podcast. I need to do something about this. Hang on. Who cooked this? Ugh. Gotta cook your burgers through, come on. I don't like it raw. In any way, shape, or form. Come on. Not a pink patty person. Damn it. Now it has to be hot. Now it has the audacity to be hot. This is getting wacky and wild and woo! I suppose that'll be fine. Yeah. That's not fun at any time of day of any time of year. Oh! There's more people! Announce yourselves in chat! All of you people! I must know who to greet at the door. Yikes, that's hot. I think we'll start a little late, because I gotta eat my food. I don't want you to hear me going in the middle of the, discussion portion. So, just gonna hold my tongue. But feel free to ask any questions now, so that we can have them ready for when we begin. Like I said, homework last week was to bring some animation-related questions to the table. Okay, here we go. Oof. Okay, that's... I can definitely see that being hot. And then they left. No! People, come back! People, come back! The show is starting. No! Okay. Almost done. Okay. Did this just turn into an ASMR? No. Just trying to wrap this up. If I did ASMR, I'd probably do some silly ass shit. You know. Like rolling up pieces of paper and using them as spitballs. Or elephant taking a piss at the zoo. You know, weird shit like that. I'd do something goofy with it. Kind of have fun with that. The idea of like ASMR, it's like on a nice, calm, and relaxing sound with a very disgusting name. I think we're good. I think we are ready to begin. Let me see if Z will show up. I gotta ask him, cause you know, it's kind of late, right? Kind of late into the game to ask, right? The thing is that it never hurts to ask. You can depend on your friends for anything. Wait, no, that's the wrong one. Alright, well, I'm going to keep an eye on that for the time being, but for now, we're going to go ahead and begin, because I'm getting sick and tired of waiting. 3, 2, 1. And a great big hey howdy hey to all you wonderful people out there in internet land. Welcome back to Comic Auzi. We're gonna try that again. And a great big hey howdy hey to all you wonderful people out there in internet land. Welcome to Ani-MANIC with Comic Auzi. I'm your host, Comic Auzi, and tonight on the stream is joining me, Squad in the chat. Squad Thistle. Pardon me, wow. Of course, Squad is also not doing so hot. Squad is, come down with a case of COVID. So, we can go ahead and get an F in chat or in the comments section below. That would also be a pretty good idea. I think you can read that there over off to the side. We were having a discussion. Anyway, but now the time is to bring things to the table to you guys. Like I said last week, I want you guys to lead discussions tonight so that we can get some interesting topics going. But news that was brought to my attention today was the fact that the Cuphead show will be streaming its next batch of episodes November 5th. Yeah, this Friday. At least I believe that's Friday. Is it Friday? Yes, it's fucking Friday. This Friday, the Cuphead show will be bringing its new batch of episodes. I can't talk. Netflix show bringing its new batch of episodes to Cuphead. Whatever the fuck I was saying. I can't talk. Why did I think this Friday isn't November? What? Oh. Did I say November? Sorry. What I meant to say was August. I meant to say August 5th. Friday, August 5th. I am really out of it. Fucking hell. You know, stuff and things. Comic Auzi is a goofy lad. But, you know, that's the way it goes. I don't know. I suppose I'm a silly. You saw Sea Beast! Yay! Good movie, right? It's like I said last time. Beautiful movie. And I think it worked. I think it wrapped up story in way. I think the way that it portrayed its characters and story was solid, like very solid. I don't think it was nearly as good as The Bad Guys, released earlier this year, but it was good. It was good. I liked it. I had fun. I had a good time. Damn it. I enjoyed my time with the movie. I'll probably be returning to it again and again and again because it's just pretty to look at. It's pretty. It's a very pretty movie. You know? That's what I said is pretty. But, you know, mutton nuts and that. That's just technology, and you know, showing off. And I don't buy it. I mean, like, thing is, I don't think you necessarily would. The only reason that you probably buy the idea that the background shots were live action in any way, shape, or form is because a lot of live action movies, especially big, like, epic location kind of movies, tend to use a lot of CG nowadays. So the distinguishability from CGI used in a live action movie and CGI used in an animated movie is getting a little blurry because it's not like the technology was never there. Obviously, it was always kind of there, but you know. And yeah, as far as the story is concerned, I think I made the comparison to How to Train Your Dragon at one point. Now, Squad, do you feel like How to Train Your Dragon is in any way applicable? Cause if I really thought about it, How to Train Your Dragon probably wasn't the first movie to do its exact, like, maybe these monsters aren't actually so monstrous thing, but like, I do feel like How to Train Your Dragon solidified it in people's brains. Never seen How to Train Your Dragon. I was thinking more like various episodes of Hilda. Yeah, Hilda does that too. It does the whole, like, these monsters aren't really, like, you know, dangerous. Like, they're just as scared of us as we are of them. But that's more just, you know, falling in line with the whole idea of, like the gentry versus nature kind of thing, really. Nature versus urban living and, like, what that does. And they take it from a fantastical setting. But How to Train Your Dragon, I definitely recommend it. Good movie, and honestly, it does these things really well as well, I think. And How to Train Your Dragon has a lot of personality. The actors playing the characters are basically perfect and all that, so yeah, no, like, How to Train Your Dragon's also a great one. Very, very pretty, and stylistically so. The character designs and the designs of all the dragons and the landscapes and the sky and the sea, it's like very fucking pretty. And the big dude at the end of How to Train Your Dragon, great design as well. And an epic confrontation. But I recommend How to Train Your Dragon. Worth your time and money. Definitely. Is that on Netflix? Is How to Train Your Dragon on Netflix? It should be on Netflix. I mean, like, in a sense that it should be on Netflix, that a lot of other DreamWorks movies are on Netflix. How to Train Your Dragon makes sense to be on Netflix. Not that it needs to be on Netflix kind of ideas. I'm like, just that it kind of makes sense that it would be there, kind of. Anyway, enough about that bullshit. We got peoples in the chat now. If you guys could announce yourselves. I see Lemon is one of them. Reason I never saw this, came along at the wrong time, preferred hand-drawn CG. Seem to blend together, Pixar being... Yeah, see, that's the funny thing. Like, at the time How to Train Your Dragon came out, what was Pixar doing? Toy Story 3? And that movie was not only distinct from other Pixar movies, but it was also pretty distinct from, like, the other Toy Story movies. Like, aesthetically speaking. It felt so different to be in that daycare. And I should know this because I actually recently watched all 3 of the Toy Story movies back to back, as I explained a couple podcasts ago. So yeah, it was definitely an interesting take. But also, like, the year before, in 2009, they released Up, which was very stylistically unique. And then, like, I think 2008 was WALL-E, so they had a very stylistically distinct film then. 2007 would be Ratatouille, also stylistically distinct, not only from other Pixar movies, but also stylistically distinct from another Brad Bird Pixar movie, The Incredibles, which came out, like, the year before? 2006 was Cars. So 2007 must have been Incredibles. 2008... man. When did these movies come out? Let's just pull up a list. I just need to pull up a list of these movies just in front of my face. Pixar films. In order. Yes, please. So, like, fucking... Okay, so... Oh, The Incredibles was 2004. Oh. I did not know that. That's weird. So yeah, so Incredibles 2004. Oh, they didn't have a movie in 2005. That's interesting. That's interesting. That is interesting. So 2004 was The Incredibles, 2006 Cars, 07 Ratatouille, 08 Wall-E, 09 Up, in 2010 Toy Story 3, 2011 Cars 2, 2012 Brave, 2013 Monsters University, and then they skipped 2014. I remember that. I remember they skipped 2014. And that's when they did 2 movies in the same year. Then they did it in 2017 with Cars and Coco. They did it in 2020 with Onward and Soul. Man, those movies were far apart. And then they did it this year with Turning Red and Lightyear. One of these movies is not like the others. One of these movies is actually good. Man, Pixar. What else can be said about fucking Pixar other than like they had not run out of ideas by the time they were doing Toy Story 3. They had everybody. Like they had all the little people right in their little Hollywood like Oscar-winning clutches. So it was an impressive track record. They had Toy Story, Bugs Life, Toy Story 2, Monsters Inc. Toy Story, Bugs Life, Toy Story 2, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, Incredibles, Cars, Ratatouille, Wall-E Up, and then number 11 is Toy Story 3. So they had a 10-movie winning streak, subtracting Cars from the equation, of course, and they were just riding high. And even people liked Cars. It didn't win any awards, but neither did Monsters, Inc. Well, actually, Monsters, Inc. may have won some awards. Have to look into that. But, like, the thing is... Pixar had a pretty steady, really fucking good track record. And it really set them up for inevitability, you know? Didn't mind Cars when it came out, never saw the sequels, though. If you saw the sequels, you'd know what people get up in arms about. It's like, there's Cars, which most people are okay with. Cars 2, which most people, like, I'd say 65% of people say, 65% of people say, ugh, you know? And then Cars 3, everybody agrees, is light years better than Cars 2. So, so basically, and what's even better about it is that Cars 3 basically ignores the existence of Cars 2. So you really could just go from Cars, watch Cars 3, and ignore everything else. I don't know, but like, obviously Cars is not a bad movie. It's just in a track record like Pixar's, it felt small. And the thing is that feeling small is what people really loved about Luca. But what people also really loved about Luca is that it centered humans and sea monsters as opposed to a bunch of anthropomorphic cars. Nobody wanted to see a movie about cars. I think it was like, it's like Lasseter was like, I really like cars. I like cars. So I wanted to make a movie, and I wanted cars. I wanted to pay tribute to this old road that people seldom drive anymore, you know, and I like cars. So it's like, okay, but not everybody gets it. I think it's one of those things where it's like a joke or like a punchline only lands if people understand the reference. And I feel like Cars, the first Cars, did a really good job about making references that people would mostly get, right? So like, everyone knows what a tow truck is. Everyone's heard of a Porsche. Fuck, is there anything else? Like, I don't know. It's like, pardon me. People knew about NASCAR racing, so it's like, that's a car sport. And it's like, yeah, no, it's like, it made some semblance of sense, but it also didn't make much sense to make another movie, you know, like, it didn't make sense to come back to Cars, necessarily. Like, Mater's Tall Tales. Mater's Tall Tales were a series of cartoonishly over-the-top shorts that took the character of Mater and put him in ridiculous scenarios where he's basically telling these outlandish stories where Lightning McQueen's always like, Mater, that didn't happen. And Lightning's like, of course it happened. You were there too. And that always was like the structure of these shorts. The shorts had a very simple structure where it was like, it's like whenever Mater went on these wacky adventures, he always insists that Lightning McQueen ought to know better about that it actually happened because he was also there. And it's all fun and good because it just leaves it open to being like, Mater tells a story. Lightning McQueen interrupts toward the end and says, Mater, that didn't happen. And Mater insists that he ought to know better because he was there too. Insert Lightning into the climax of the story, cut back to Mater telling the story, and seeing some kind of bookend showing that it actually did happen. And it's like, that simple structure allowed them to do a lot of creative shit. Like, I'm gonna be honest. That they really, really, like, it really allowed them to, like, stretch for all kind of things they could do. They made him a daredevil, a wrestler, a Tokyo drifter, a flying saucer. They made him a fucking... I'd say one of the shorts made him into a super spy, but that was the fucking sequel. That was fucking Cars 2. They made a movie out of that. And it's like... I don't know. It's like, I don't understand, like, why the movie wasn't explicitly as goofy as that. Like, well, let's be honest with ourselves. Like, in Cars 2, it feels like it comes completely out of left field unless you saw the Mater's Tall Tales shorts and considered them canon. This is a big thing, because it's like, Mater's Tall Tales is a series of shorts, a spin-off, if you will, of the Cars series of characters. Mostly Mater and Lightning McQueen, but also some of the other characters show up as well. But, largely, you can accept them as not canon. So it's kind of weird to see that where, like, a lot of people would probably take it as non-canon. They would see it. They would see the shorts. They would see the things they're doing and think, that's ridiculous. I know this is a world of talking cars, but even this is too silly. Well, a lot of people, I guess, thought it was too silly. A lot of people didn't buy into the nonsense. It's like, the things that people will accept in a certain realm of reality is so weird. But at the same time, perfectly justifiably understandable. When you take the concept of, like, turn the Cars franchise into a cartoon, right? They called them Cars Toons, presenting Mater's Tall Tales. And so, it would make a lot of sense if they leaned in on the incredibly ridiculous nature. Kind of in a way that they could have, like lampshaded it, like in the Goofy movie, or rather a Goofy movie, had a sequel called An Extremely Goofy Movie, where Max goes off to college, and one of the most famous lines from that movie is when the Pauly Shore dog, like, is in like a coffee bean place, and he's just like, I swear he's probably stoned when he says this, but he's like, you ever wonder why we're always like wearing gloves? And you've seen this meme on the internet probably. And like, the Cars franchise never did that, ever. They never lampshaded their own ridiculousness, right? It's like, the question of why cartoons wear gloves has an answer, but like, to anyone who didn't know any better, like the people who wrote that joke, it feels like we're just calling out the silliness and lampshading us. Like, they're always wearing gloves. What's up with that? But at the same time, it makes some sense, right? Because if you, like the people who wrote that joke, are like not in on the lore, the history of cartoon characters and where they come from, then you know that then you know that it feels weird, but also that you just kind of just culturally accepted that cartoon characters wear white gloves. But like, I do remember that in a Goofy movie they don't take their gloves. No, they don't take off their gloves and they go in the hot tub. And I guess that might have been also part of the reason that they lampshaded it, because it was like, didn't we do this thing in the last movie where it was like, they didn't they didn't take off their gloves in the hot tub? You notice you never see characters in movies go to the bathroom, but it's also explicitly weird, especially in things like a Goofy movie and an extremely Goofy movie, where they have the cartoon characters wearing gloves, and like, lampshading it in the sequel. It's like, I don't know, but that's the kind of thing that I wish the Cars franchise would have done, right? Like, call out how ridiculous it is. And you'd think that the post-credits tag of the Pixar movies, if you will, where all the characters are cars, like Monster Trucks Incorporated, it's like, oh, how silly, how funny, ha ha ha. It's like, but most of what they were doing there was not so much lampshading the ridiculousness of a world of living cars, but rather lampshading their own, like, recasting of John Ratzenberg in everything. Like, it's weird. It's like they're halfway there, but they save it for a post-credits tag for a joke that ultimately doesn't make much difference, honestly. It's like, doesn't change anything in the world of the movie or the audience's perceptions of it. The best thing to come out of Cars is the short that played before the movie, One Man Band. That was a great short. That is a great short. I love that short. It's a good short. I recommend you go find it. One Man Band. It's delightful bit of storytelling with no dialogue, only music and a few sound effects, and it is hilarious. Honestly, it's really good. Check it out. It's worth your time. Now, if there are any questions from the peanut gallery, let's go ahead and hear them, because this is a night of discussion. I got a message? I got a motherfucking message? Holy balls. Ah, interesting. I have to let, alright, well, all seems good. It looks like Lemon will be able to join us partway through these shenanigans. Give it up for 30 minutes because these streams run short. I've been doing that a lot lately, running short streams. You know, keeping things down to a certain pace, a certain level, that sort of thing. I think a general thing to say about animation is that it demands an awful lot of patience, and a lot of awful patience too. You know, it's just, it's fairly demanding, you know? It's, and it, I think, like, for what it's worth, animation is always at its best when you can feel it, you know, when you can feel that, like, when you can feel that touch, the little something that an animator puts in all their own, you know, when an animator puts a little bit of their own personality into it. You can feel that. And it feels great. You know? You can feel that. You feel it. In here, man. In here. It feels good. It feels good, honestly. Just to see it. To be it. To embody it. To encompass it. And how about a point Photoshop? True. Oh. Brr. So, I think that we need a fucking talking point because I'm running out of ideas. Okay, let's see. The internet has never let me down. Well, actually, it has on multiple occasions, but like, this is very unfortunate. Yes, I suppose this should be brought up. We lost quite a few notable people in the past few days here. But something that sticks out, very unfortunately, is the passing of Pat Carroll, who a lot of us would know as the voice of Ursula in The Little Mermaid. And also Ursula's crazy sister in the sequel. So I think now would be a good time to give a moment of silence for a legend. And while we're giving this moment of silence, let's also note that the actress who played Lieutenant Uhura on Star Trek also passed away on the same day, I believe. So, pour one out for him, and let's give him a moment of silence. It's always sad when something like that happens, and you hate to see it. Honestly, you do. Also, in other somewhat disappointing news, Yeah. Here in some... in terms of some disappointments, there was a merger on with Warner Brothers, and so they have scrapped a few projects that they had. They shelved some idea. They had shelved some projects that they were working on. So we're gonna see some things. See some, like, that's gonna be a little bit of a shakeup for some people, I imagine. But, like, yeah. There's... I'm gonna cut off, like... I need to go find some... Need to go find some animation-related topics. Oh yes, on the topic of cars, Disney and Pixar's Cars on the Road is going to start streaming September 8th on Disney+. So they got a new series, like 8 or 9 episodes that they've got. And it does look like it has a similar quality as Mater's Tall Tales, only instead it'll be happening in real time. So that's interesting. So that'll be some interesting stuff. And apparently yesterday, Nickelodeon aired the season finale for the cartoon Middlemost Post in preparation for season 2. So, look forward to that. Is there anything else in animation news? Might have to move over to the cartoon topic. There's a Netflix movie called Lost Ollie, which is a story about a displaced toy bunny in a live-action CG hybrid, which features kind of a Toy Story vibe, according to Entertainment Weekly. So, if you haven't seen the trailer for that, it does look interesting. I'm not, because, it's just, like, I don't know, I'm not covering live action, like, doing this, and otherwise, it's like, if I really think about it, and honestly, it'll just be good to see more animation, honestly. Like... yes. So, Scoob has canceled the live... So, Warner Brothers has canceled DC's live-action Batgirl movie and the animated film Scoob Holiday Haunt, in relation to their merger with Discovery. Honestly, companies gotta stop merging shit, you know? Just be your own you, damn it. Also, according to some sources, George Jetson was born on the 31st of July in the year 2022. So a lot of people are bringing up the Jetsons movie. The Jetsons movie, which is a movie that exists. And I'll say the animation is good in that movie, largely. But, honestly, story's kind of weak, even for the time that it came out. Back then they had things like fucking Star Wars. They were gonna, were they really gonna let the Jetsons movie fly by on its environmentalist, like, fictional environmentalist nonsense? Like, it's not even about a real environment needing to be saved. It's about these fictional little fuzzballs that look like Gizmo from the Gremlins, just without ears. Scooby-Doo never stays dead for long. That is absolutely true, squad. That is absolutely true. Completely true. Also, it looks like Animated Antic at animated_antic on Twitter reviewed DC League of Super Pets on their blog just 7 hours ago, posting it, and have said that the film is formulaic and not very funny superhero flick, it seems. So, that's, I guess it shows what most people may have been saying, is that it was obviously the critics. It was the critics saying, like, this is a perfect movie for the family to take the kids to see, and not really on the merits of it truly being, you know, of its own quality necessarily. Like, it wasn't necessarily like that the film was a good film, but that kids would enjoy it and parents should take kids to see it, which is never a good sign, you know? When people are gonna forgive the idea of a movie because it is presumably made for kids. Doesn't matter if it's animated, even though it is typically animated movies that get this kind of fucking treatment. The fact of the matter is that animation always gets this treatment. Always does. Ain't no bones about it.
Hello.
Alright. Anything in the cartoon news? Cartoon news. That was fast. Season 2 of Middlemost Post has started airing today already. That's a quick turnaround, honestly. This is like, we're gonna end season 2 and then we're gonna end season 1 and then immediately the day after start airing season 2 because we're impatient. We want to see success and we want to see it now. I suppose because they want their top ranked shows to meet up with the audience demand they believe exists for SpongeBob, which must be there. Like, someone's watching it, otherwise it wouldn't still be on the air making new episodes. They wouldn't make new episodes if it wasn't making money, and it wouldn't be making money if it wasn't getting viewership, and it wouldn't be getting viewership if it wasn't making new episodes. This is the kind of cyclical logic that is found in regards to this whole SpongeBob is going on forever and everything. And even Twitter can't get enough of it. More death. Paul Cooker Jr., designer of Rankin Bass Holiday Specials, dies at 93. And this was brought up on August 1st, which is probably the date of death. Yeah, I think I remember seeing it there. I'm thinking that there is something, I think there's definitely something to be said for when a new intellectual property comes up and people fall in love with it, and then it really does pretty much the opposite of what studios want to see. Because studios don't want to pour in resources on a risk. They don't want to take risks, and it's far better for them to see that a new, but it's still far better for them to see that a new IP is doing financially well, that it is doing commercially well. Because it should affirm to them that that there is a market for it. And on the topic of original intellectual properties, the 1-year anniversary of Luz and Amity officially becoming girlfriends was but a few days ago on August 30th. Happy anniversary to the girlfriends. Just happy anniversary to them. Like, if we're gonna celebrate the anniversaries of fictional characters, like, why the fuck not? You know? And I also urge anyone who has Disney Plus to go put in a binge watch session, even if you're like only half paying attention to it, of the entirety of The Owl House, if it is available on Disney Plus in your country. Definitely recommend doing that, because it will show Disney that they were wrong to cancel it. It'll show the really dumb executive that they were a really dumb executive and made a dumb decision for reasons that we still cannot fathom. So there. Looks like the potential for guests is running out. That is interesting. You know, I don't see that ship a lot. For some reason, I don't. That's weird. 'Cause, like, we're all about AU, right? We're all about alternate universe, fun, shenanigans, yada yada, all that sort of thing, right? But I do not, in any way, shape, or form, understand why there haven't been a lot of people, like, creating art for Willow and Luz, or Willow and Amity. Like, imagine if that had fucking happened. Like, come on. We can't, like, thoroughly ignore what is in large parts, in broad strokes, really fundamentally nice, good. I want to say that there are ideas there that fans could expound upon, and yeah, no, I could totally see that. Thought Willow was overlooked but ever since the ship of her and Hunter was teased, people have been noticing her a lot more. Yeah, I do not think that's the reason why, because here's the thing, right? What people noticed in Hunter, they also noticed Willow, because like when they saw that he can't perform real magic and he thinks he's lesser of himself for it, people drew parallels between that and Willow, which was a correct assessment to make, because once we finally got that interaction between Willow and Hunter literally calls himself half a witch. So like it's so they really drew these parallels, right? They drew these parallels between these characters on purpose. Fans picked up on it and saw that Willow was doing a lot of badass shit, and they were like, holy fuck, Willow is awesome. Man, if only her and Hunter could like meet, right? And then like, oh, they would be so adorable. Think of what the children would look like. And then they were finally meeting, and it's like, canon Hunslow interaction. Hello, everybody. We got it. We got one. You know, and everybody was so excited. So, and the thing is, Willow always had my attention, more so than Gus even. And I think part of that is because while Gus was always an awesome character, like I loved all, like, I definitely gravitated toward Amity as the show was beginning, but as the show went on and I rewatched episodes and I went back on it and I thought about things and I really explored the depths of these characters, it was like, you know, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm really seeing all of this in these characters. And it's like when Gus got his episode and he was sidelined by losing Amity's shenanigans, it like, what are we supposed to do? Gus got sidelined in his own episode. And then he got the most recent episode featuring him and Hunter at the forefront. And it was not only a better showing for Gus, but it also recontextualized the previous outing for Gus and to really highlight what was important there. It's like, don't forget it. It'll be like, we're gonna bring this back. And they brought it back. It's like, they didn't ignore it. It's like, they obviously had plans for Gus. They probably had more plans for Gus than we realized. That's the thing. It's like, the show could have gone on for another season, and they probably had more plans for Gus. But they never got to explore it because they got canned early. I did have concerns that the fanbase would focus more on ships than the actual story. Yeah, but that's the other thing, though. Is something that's really bold in the Owl House. Is that not only is the Owl House, like, embracing the ships, it also just canonizes them. Like really think about this. Starversus piddled around, it twiddled its thumbs, and it did whatever it wanted when it came to the romance of its characters, because that's not what they wanted the show to be about. And even then, Owl House is also, in regards, not what they wanted the show to be about. They didn't want it to be about romance, but they featured a lot of romantic interest in the characters, between the characters. I mean, fuck, even like Ida and Rain also is another one. Like, people saw this mystery character in the teaser for season 2, and they were like, oh, is this a love interest for Ida? You have no idea how right you are, pal. I quit watching Star at the midpoint of season 2. From what I've heard, I made the right choice. Yeah, you probably did. I think. Oh, man. Anyway, Weird Wolf, we're talking about animation. That is what is up. And I think I've combed through all the animation news on Twitter that I could find at the top of these topics. Oh. And wait, what was that? Oh, that'll be interesting. But you know, it's just good. It's just good. I love that they're They're taking their time. They're doing all of the stuff that people want when a show ships characters. You know, that's the thing. This is another thing, is that they really, like the Owl House and the way they show off these characters. What they're doing here, which is really neat, that I think is really neat anyway. Speaking of animation, opinions on Steven Universe. Mixed. I'll elaborate because we got the time. But like as far, oh, hang on, wait. I think I might have guests. Never too late. You're here. Lemon?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Say something.
Blah, 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 blah.
Alright, everybody, welcoming the incomparable Lemon Fairy D.
Aw, thank you.
Weird Wolf has hopped into the chat and has asked a very interesting question about an interesting show. And that interesting question is, what is your opinion on the interesting Cartoon Network show, the interesting Steven Interesting Universe? And I immediately said mixed, and I want to elaborate on that, but first, Min, do you agree that Steven Universe is mixed, or do you have different opinions on it?
No, I agree it's mixed. There's a lot going on. It's a bit controversial.
It's a show that ultimately did itself dirty by doing things in the way that it did, right? So like,
can you elaborate?
well, let's really think about this. The show clearly had more that it wanted to do with its story, right?
Uh-huh.
It had ideas that it would go on for more seasons, right? Or at the very least, it would have more time to flesh out its finale. And it got cut short because Rebecca Parham got in an argument with Cartoon Network over having
Rebecca Sugar.
Rebecca. Okay. Well, anyway, Rebecca Sugar got in a tiff with Cartoon Network over having the Garnet wedding, the gay wedding, all right? So it's like, and this is the sticking point. It's like, okay, but we're cutting your show in half. We're cutting the ending off here. Like, this is what you get. You get 5 more episodes and you're done. And like, if even that, they had 5. I think it was 5 episodes, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Something like 5 episodes, and like one of them being an extended 2 or 3 part episode. But like, and like, from what I gather is like, if it were me, and it was like, oh, it turns out I'm making this show that has not explicitly had any romantical interests, but the studio is threatening to can if I do anything. Well, I'll lay it all out. I'll hold my hand. I'll finish my story, and then as a super extra 2-part finale, gay wedding, gay kiss, gay hug, and implied gay sex. Fuck you. That's the end of the show. Good night, everybody. It's like,
that's the problem. Gay people always get held off until the end of the story, and we're trying to fight against that.
as like, and that's
What did
and
I
that,
just walked into?
you walked into something interesting, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. It is the incomparable, the artistic, the wonderful Victoria. Hey, V.
Hey there.
I'm pretty sure everybody will be able to hear you okay. If you could turn up any of the microphone on your end, it might help a little bit, but otherwise, we're good.
On my end?
On your end, yeah. cause I'm cranked all the way. But yes, yes, squad, it's been a long time since Victoria has been able to show up to a stream, definitely.
Yes, it has. I've been very busy and very tired. The thing called a job, what is that?
I know, right? Space dictators crashed the first gay wedding in a cartoon. And that's probably also the most unfortunate thing about it, you know? It's like, here is essentially gay wedding in a cartoon, one of the first, if not the first, to happen. Legit, in earnest. And like, they had to cram in the frickin', they had to cram in the space dictators because they got their season halved by Cartoon Network just for daring to put gay people on a TV show. Oh no.
Oh, horror of horrors.
And yeah, on that note, Weird Wolf, just gonna say, ultimately, I'm gonna leave this here. It'll be like a burr in the back of everybody's mind when they watch this now. I have opinions of Lily Orchard, not positive ones. I'll leave that there, and you can pick my brain about it if you ever want to. But for now, the animation on the show is really... Nah, that's not fair. That is absolutely not fair, because the animation...
I would argue
the animation
on the show...
Well, aside the fact that it would be easy to say mixed, again, fact of the matter is that the animation is never the problem. See, that's the thing. The animators, the animation itself, like the actual movement of things, is never the bad part. That's never the problem. It almost always, often, is the people in charge on our side of the Pacific Ocean who are not laying out the groundwork well enough, you know? It's
true. I would say it was not directed, like, at all. Rebecca Sugar wanted to let everybody have their vision for the show, realized when, unfortunately, her vision should have been the one that came first.
Yeah, I think that ultimately led to the confusion, the ultimate, fall down of ultimate calamity, you know? And I feel like it's like in comparing Alex Hirsch to Rebecca Sugar, Alex Hirsch had his creative vision for the show, everything, or at least like 85% of it planned out from the beginning, already knew how it was going to end and how the conflict was going to be resolved, knew everything, knew it, only left room for writing individual episodes, as it was still an episodic series, not a serialized drama. Like, even in the finale, the 3-part finale of Gravity Falls, which is apparently a 4-part finale on Disney Plus, wrap your head around that, and what happens is that it's still episodic. Every individual episode has its perfect beginning, middle, and end. It's not like the explicit cliffhanger to, like, end all cliffhangers. Especially since those episodes did air back-to-back when they initially came out. At least, you know, a certain, consistent basis. Like, all 3 of those episodes did air, within weeks of each other. So they definitely didn't hold their tongue on that point. But the other thing is that it was not only on that end of the creative vision where things were kept solid, but also on the animation side of things. The characters have to look like this. The characters, they can't deviate from their model too much. Certain things will look funnier than others. Certain rules that he set for the way the show would look and feel that, you know, gave some congruence to it. And there's an ultimate difference between, going off model. Again, off-model is such a weird way to put it when if a character is allowed wacky over-the-top expressions, that's not necessarily off-model then, is it? Because it's allowed, it's on-model, technically, even if it's not typically how the character looks. But there's a difference between going off-model for some over-the-top and really creative and fun and expensive animation, and going off-model just because the artist wanted to draw it differently or just couldn't figure out how to draw it the way the other artists do. So, you have anything to say, Victoria?
Especially since I heard with marketing-wise, they have to, like, keep the characters kind of simple with their designs and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's another thing, is also, like, if your character models in the show look different than they do on the posters and on the t-shirts and in the Happy Meal toys, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? You're not really doing a job at corporate brand synergy for your intellectual property. That is making you money, by the way. Like, they didn't have any reason to can the show. Steven Universe was successful in its own right. Yeah. The only reason that Steven Universe didn't necessarily look as successful as something like, say, Teen Titans Go is because, well, kind of knowably, like, you don't even need to see, like, you don't even need to see the behind-the-scenes spreadsheets or anything. Everybody, like, was posting the airing schedules for Cartoon Network all the fucking time back then, and even now, and they milk Teen Titans Go for all the airtime that it's worth, which bloats,
and more.
Which bloats the ratings numbers and how much viewership every episode is getting. It's like, sure, the show looks successful when it's on all the time and you're forced to watch it, right?
Yeah.
It's not
okay, there was just, like, a recent announcement with Owl House being, like, the number 3 watch show on Disney.
Right?
What the hell? Can I please say something?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, so my ideal direction technique for a show, personally, how I would do it is, I would leave the decisions about, like, the vision of the show up to me, and then my voice actors.
Yeah,
so, I understand what you mean, but sometimes it's hard to communicate with the censorship and stuff like that. Like, Alex Hirsch had a lot of problems with that.
Oh, man.
See, but I would be willing for my show to argue with them personally. That is my problem, not my entire staff's.
I mean, Alex Hirsch was the one to be taken upon whenever these emails came in, which is hilarious. Absolutely, gotta love the fact that, it's like, for all that it's worth, it's like, it's hilarious. Go look up Alex Hirsch Standards and Practices or Alex Hirsch S&P on YouTube or Twitter or anywhere. It's all over the place, and it's hilarious and tragic and hilariously tragic.
Yes.
One of the things I can compare that to is Game Show Network airing several hours of Steve Harvey's Family Feud to the point where Sunday's schedule would be comprised entirely of the show. But I think there's a difference when it comes to a game show because every episode follows the same metric because it's a game show. There are rules and rounds and point systems. But the questions, the answers, and the incredibly creative and funny people that they have to play the game is just... it's what makes most of the show. And it makes it an absolute minefield of comedy. Just look up, like, best of Family Feud, like weirdest answers or shit like that.
I finally remember the naked grandma thing.
Naked, huh? I don't see that either. Bang! Woo!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But I dug down that rabbit hole one night just watching hours and hours of those funniest responses videos. It's just great.
Anyway, what I was trying to say is why I would direct something that way is specifically, like, my writing crew would be the voice actors themselves because they would have to know the characters best, like, if anything.
True.
It would be mostly my own vision, but I would like keep my writing staff pretty small and like take mostly input from the voice actors themselves because that's where the character is going to come from, whether I like it or not.
That's true, but you also have a choice in casting someone who you feel embodies the role when it comes to auditions, right? I mean, you have...
Well, that's what I intend to do, and why I expect them to make good decisions or, like, suggest good ad-libs and stuff.
But you're also going to have a casting director who's going to be there with you in the audition process and shit because they'll know what to do because they've been in the industry long enough and shit like that.
That's fair, but I would also make a lot of the decisions on casting myself because I have very specific vibes I'm going for.
I mean, hell, Dan and Swampy just called up Disney and they were like, so who are we going to cast for the main character in your new cartoon? Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah.
You know?
And they were like, you can do that? And then they did it.
Apparently, in The Ghost of Molly McGee, Ashley Burst and Dana Snyder frequently ad-lib. I mean, Dana Snyder...
Doesn't surprise me one bit.
I love Dana Snyder's bit of, like, I made a man cry once. I hit his keys for, like, any...
But I kept moving him, so he thought he was losing his mind.
It's just a hilarious line, and the way he delivers it in just kind of this deadpan, kind of like just straightforward, just matter-of-fact tone. It's like,
no one makes fun of Molly McGee but me. I feel like my scratch impression is okay.
Your scratch impression is better than mine. I sound like a dead SpongeBob whenever I try to do it. Molly!
I can also do SpongeBob. Kind of. I'm much better at musical SpongeBob.
Okay, but this isn't the voice acting show. This is the, we were talking about Steven Universe and cartoon. Oh, as far as airing schedules go, another thing where, like, I was gonna say something stupid like Nickelodeon doesn't do shit like that, but what is the show that program, like, network block just abuses and just constantly re-airs and, like, makes new episodes constantly?
SpongeBob?
That's SpongeBob. They just won't stop.
Pineapple under the ratings.
I mean, you better damn well know it by now. I mean, Nickelodeon won't let you fucking forget it.
Nope. And of course, like, I felt so bad, like, when they started showing those spin-offs, like the Camp Coral and the Patrick Show. I was like, Steven would not like this.
Yeah, well...
Well, here's the thing. Steven Hillenburg never banned spin-offs for his shows. What he did say is he didn't think they would work.
A lot of times, there's some spin-offs that don't work. I don't know which spin-offs do, if I don't remember off the top of my head. But it depends on how well it works.
I think the animation on the Patrick Show is fantastic. Camp Coral, however, can go die.
I mean, don't besmirch the work of several animators who are only doing their job. They're trying their damnedest with this shit. At the very least, like...
You need to hire a goddamn lighting team on that show. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that does... Wait, the show actually does constantly look like that?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, so you're not only making a CGI show, but you're also cheaping out by shipping it to an inexpensive studio. Nickelodeon, what are you doing? You guys made Jimmy Neutron, for God's sake.
Yes,
Jimmy Neutron didn't try much harder, dude.
Jimmy Neutron was kind of... I mean, Reboot obviously existed, and so did the Donkey Kong Country show. But Jimmy Neutron was a first of its kind for a TV animated CGI cartoon that actually looked like a cartoon and felt like a cartoon, you know? Like...
That's fair, but also people on the show have given testimony to not giving a shit. There are clips online of Jimmy's hair clipping through a locker, and people gave out testimonies saying, oh yeah, we just didn't give a fuck.
But that's also entirely fair because of, like, because, let's face facts, Nickelodeon probably sent it out to a studio cheap, you know? But, like, at the same time, at least it was well lit. At least the writing was solid. The character designs didn't make people want to gouge their eyes out. That's
debatable.
I think you might be conflating Jimmy Neutron's character designs with Fairly Odd Parents' designs in Jimmy Neutron.
I was talking about the Sheen show.
Oh Lord!
Sheen did not need a show. Sheen did not need a show.
No.
Large scale, I think most people can probably agree Jimmy Neutron's animation was ahead of its time. Yeah, certainly. Yeah, no.
Not for real. Yeah, my technique for making an animated show mostly relies on like consulting my voice actors for character help, specifically because it's an animated show and I can probably get away with something like that.
I mean, if you really wanted to, you could basically hire voice actors not only on their voice talent and ad-libbing skills, but you could also like hire them on the basis like you're also a comedy writer, aren't you?
That is something I'd want to consider, hence why I want Alex Hirsch to voice one of my main characters.
Depends on money too, but also, have you guys seen the latest Hell of a Boss that they had Jonathan Freeman in it?
No, but I heard that.
I'd rather not discuss Vitsy shows if possible. It feels too much for me.
Well, I'll briefly say that I had no interest in watching Hell of a Boss before, but God, Jonathan Freeman, well, fuck, now I gotta watch it. Now I gotta catch up on everything.
In my opinion, the only thing I'm willing to say about it is that I think it's better than has been.
And we still have yet to see what will come of that when that show starts airing, so.
I might give that one a chance, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna pirate the shit out of it, okay?
You heard it here first, folks! I'm not culpable. He said it. I didn't.
Point is, I don't know how I feel about Vivzy enough to give her money, okay?
No, I understand that.
I haven't understand your opinion. Like, I liked her stuff because her character design is very unique, and I've seen her since she did the Die Young animation she did.
Those videos and her student film were very nice, but then getting older and having a bunch of friend groups say
"Welcome back,"
these terrible, possibly back-upable things about her. I don't really know, man.
Die Young was unlisted.
Yes, I heard about that. With that whole situation that went on.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm assuming it's in the live chat.
Yeah, in the live chat, the Die Young animation thing is unlisted right now.
That
probably has to do with copyright issues with the character design. They apparently had a large dispute about that with an old friend who turned out to maybe be abusive. It might have been a mutually toxic relationship. I don't know. Point is, ownership of the character has been up to debate. So, I'm pretty sure that's why.
You know what? This is Ani-MANIC with Comic Auzi. If people want to go check the receipts on drama, that's an entirely different podcast altogether. That's not this show.
Yeah.
Like, let's drop Vivzy drama, and we'll talk about the positive things, like the fact that her shows are of quality and have a fan base. You know, let's just no. You're fine mentioning Die Young. I'm just more like, no, you're fine. But yeah, no.
Animation quality, I'll vouch for. I don't know how I feel about their character designs or general actions outside that, but.
Are we done?
And the writing is.
Are we done even passively aggressively hinting at the drama?
I'm not trying to hint at any drama in particular. I'm just.
You still.
Yeah.
I just like talking about like the style of animation she uses, and she's more like the Invader Zim, kind of like the angular kind of stuff to it. That's
definitely an influence there. Definitely.
I definitely enjoy the animation, but that's probably the most I'll say about it.
Yeah. But that's just me. That's what I like in it. And surprisingly, I actually never really watched or really got into Invader Zim growing up because A, I didn't have cable growing up, and B, I was like a little old. I was like in my teens when I got cable, so I was like,
Okay.
So.
I watched and enjoyed Invader Zim for a great deal, but if you like cutesy, fluffy shows, I don't recommend it. It's very gross out, humory, and very edgy.
I think that's one of the reasons I stopped watching it early on, because it was like, this is a little gross for me. All right.
You like a nice in-between. Heavy content, nice art styles, you know.
All right, so I need... Okay. Is there like a super post of all of the redesigns that they've done? Because I actually want to talk about it.
I've seen it in the Has-Been Hotel Twitter page.
I suppose that'd be as good as anything, right? Has-Been Hotel. Let's just...
I think the biggest complaint I saw with one of the designs was like with Angel. He's like, his fluff boobs are gone. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think that's an issue. I think his fluff boobs are alive and well. Maybe not as obvious as they were before, but I think they're fine.
Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna share this image now.
There.
Here we...
Are you putting it in Discord?
No. I'm screen sharing on the stream. Okay, so Fizzy, yes. This is something I wanted to love talking about. Okay, so truth be told, when the designs for the Has-Been characters came out, I thought like they were gonna make the character designs more animation friendly. How the hell do you animate that? That is an interesting question, because if we look at these designs, it's like here's the deal.
Okay,
there are several things. There are several things that go into like making a design for animation. Okay. And one of those great many things can be, how are you going to animate it, right? So like, everybody knows like Tangled, the animated series, right? And if I like pull that up.
Can you please copy it into the Discord chat? I can't watch the stream. I'm on a phone right now.
Oh, okay. But let me just get an image up of the Tangled, the series poster. Here, right? Okay.
I need to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Oh,
but also, I love what they did with Tangled, because it was more like the paintings that Rapunzel did.
Right. And the thing is, like...
And that's what they were going for.
There's a stylistic thing where the character designs are really simple, but the textures that they use, like the amount of freckles that they're allowed to draw on Rapunzel's face, just for the fact that they use puppets of the characters, just it really makes a bit of a difference in terms of like how they're able to like do the texture of blush on every character's face, simply because they could just rig the model to have that existing on the character at all times.
Yes.
So with the Has-Been Hotel designs, you can think like this is probably going to be super hard to animate. How the hell are they even going to do that? But then think about it in a different context, right? It's probably not going to be the kind of animation that you're thinking of necessarily, right?
Yes.
So what they do in these designs is like, if I really think about like the angle of simplicity versus complexity, I'd say this is somewhere in like the range of kind of like Batman the Animated Series, and kind of like I'd say like but yeah, I like.
Kind of reminds me a little bit with the Harley Quinn kind of esque to it, but not as not round. It's more sharper.
Yeah,
with the Harley Quinn.
Say it like in this regard, it resembles a simplicity on the angles of like the original Batman animated series, somewhere between that and say the recent Harley Quinn show, with the way that they handle some of the design elements. And it's like, you really think about that, it's like, depending on what they do, and the thing is, another thing is that with these designs implies like a really wide range of characterization, and also like it's gonna have a lot of like, I'd assume, cartoony animation, right?
I have some complaints about each design, but I'd like to go over them one by one. You have the space for that.
Well, more rather just in an understanding of like that what they really wanted to do. Mainly what they really want to do is they really want to make the character. They want to make sure that the characters reflect their pilot designs as much as possible, just because people already fell in love with the characters as they were there. And the thing is, if they're gonna hire new voice actors, they gotta keep something. And so what they largely keep are a lot of the design elements that they had before. So they keep a lot of the reds in their color palette. They keep a lot of the familiar elements of these characters' designs, like Angel Dust's hair and all that.
Plus, an important thing to like deal with is to have a recognizable silhouette. That's what they had to focus on too.
Right, and you can definitely see Charlie has changed in that regard. Definitely emphasizing
I have
her
some
hair
bits
shape.
to do. May I get to that?
I think you brought them up on stream before, and honestly, I want to keep this on the positive angle because
Then I'm going to leave the call because I'm afraid that's all I have to talk about on this subject.
All right, later.
I'll see you when...
Okay, then.
He's gone. Let's talk about him.
Yeah. But I mean, yes, I understand why. But I mean, character designs have changed over time rapidly. Like with Vaggie's design, it has changed rapidly if you've seen her design for years and years.
Well, yeah, no, because like the thing is, like, if you show a character's evolution over many, many years, you know my character Josephine, half elf, half dragon?
I think so.
Yeah, I think I can pull up a picture of her, if nothing else. Yeah. Where are my gabies? I can pull her up. Yes, pull up that image, where I think it's in here. Josephine's design, like, and this is really wild, right? So, like, in terms of character designs, they can change. Sometimes they change really wildly over time, or they barely change at all. Like,
yes.
So, like, in terms of talking about a character's design, like, Josephine, like, a lot of things have changed, not the least of which being that she used to be white and have freckles. There's a lot that has changed with this character. Did Angel's design even change? Exactly. That's kind of what they were going for, Weird Wolf. The idea is that they really want to make sure that the designs feel like the ones that people really like from the pilot. And it's like, yeah, I know, but really go as far back as you can with these characters, and they look wildly different. But Josephine's design mainly came to really honing in on a lot of her key features. Like, I can't go back to her white design because I don't have that in the computer, but I can go back to a much older image of her if I can find it.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was going to bring up a character design that I've been working on for God knows how long for one of the characters.
Here we go. I'm gonna pull it up here in a moment here. We'll have a little bit of a side by side. Josephine is my own original character. She's a half dragon, half elf. So she is super short and has super sharp teeth, and also a pointed tongue in case that wasn't a little bit obvious. But let's let us have at the an older version of her design that emphasized her being half dragon by trying to implement some dragonish elements to her design. So, like, I put these side by side here. Whoops. That's,
Yes.
But, like, you can kind of see we can kind of see here with this the origins of what would turn into this. She already has the big pointed nose. That's awesome, Weird Wolf. That is awesome. I love that. That's really cool. But yeah, you can definitely see how she already has the big nose. Blue hair was something that came from her original design because initially Josephine's design was basically, I couldn't figure out how to draw Coraline the way she looked in the Henry Selick movies, so I decided to draw it a little more akin to how I would draw humans at the time, which is not terribly far off from this design in the gray, which I like to call the gray sweater brown scarf design, because the gray sweater brown scarf thing, at least the gray sweater, definitely came as a bit of a Coraline thing because she had that one star sweater that was like a deep blue color. So but that was the origins of where her design came from. But I also have other iterations on her design that like tried to hone in on the ideas of like making her because like over time she became a character of far more interest to me, and I think part of that was kind of this human element to her design, was that like, sure, I have the wacky cartoon dragon character, but it is a little easier to relate to a character who at least looks human on the surface, you know?
Yes.
So
yeah,
and you can also
like,
see right down here the clawed fingers that she has, that she would also continue to have.
Yep. Yep, I did something like that. I posted it in the chat. Like, what I did with character design, like, mostly I'm trying to think of, like, okay, how's this character going to look, how to make it more simplified, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And also try to tell the story of the character.
Yes. Another thing about creating a good character design is trying to hone in on who they are. You can definitely see this version of Josephine has a little bit more of an attitude, maybe a little bit of a rebellious streak. And that kind of stemmed from alternate ideas of adapting the character from many different versions. In some cases, she was adopted. In this case, she was half dragon, half elf. Elf on her mother's side, dragon on her father's side. And I think a lot of my character designs, like especially more recent ones, they tend to go through a lot of my character designs, like large numbers of them, go through small iterations that definitely add up over time. Clearly, the recognizable shape here does come out here. Like, I could not get rid of this little notch in her hair. Like, it's unescapable. Yeah. It's like I put that little notch in her hair. It had to be there. It just forced itself to will itself to be existing constantly. It doesn't make sense, but it's a great silhouette. It's just, I couldn't get rid of it. And you can definitely see how I iterate in I keep like the biggest, most recognizable thing, like big nose and little hair notch, and that's it. That's all that I keep. Everything else changes. It's like, I want to emphasize the fact that she's an elf, half elf at least. Give her the big long ear. I want to emphasize her being a dragon even more than just having clawed fingers and toes. Give her sharp teeth as well. It's like these things that really add up to, like, okay, so this is a part of who she looks like. And I like this angle of designing, like, in this series, designing characters who look less like they actually are, you know? It's like, oh, she's got like the sharp claws and the sharp teeth, and she may look a little scary on the surface, but she's actually a dork.
Yep, that is true.
Or like the girl on her left. oh, she's so soft and she's so small. Aren't we all dorks? Yes, squad. But she's like, oh, she's so soft, she's so small. How could, like, she doesn't look very intimidating, but there's more muscle underneath her than you realize at first glance. And so it's like, there are these ideas about, like, create character design that communicates the character, or do we want to try bait and switching that character? Do we want to try giving an impression that may initially be false? Do we want to try breaking away from the pretenses of what the surface level is? And I feel like that can be very interesting as well. Another example is that Farnus, her father, is not only a dragon, but he's an incredibly goofy looking one at that. And I got a perfect image to show him. It's probably the most recent iteration on his design, from the neck up only, but because his body hasn't really changed at all. Aside from the fact that I did clip his wings, because I animated a cartoon where he had his wings, but he used a ladder instead of just flying. So I'm like, fuck it, this guy never uses his wings, take him away, boys. So,
true. But of course, like, with
it's all about standing
Ralph
off all the
Bakshi,
useless details.
of course, with Ralph Bakshi, with his Fritz the cat, his they had birds, they had like the crows in there, and yet they used, instead of like flying or using their animal-like stuff, they used their wings or hands to make them seem like humans.
True. But I feel like in regard, but that's just a common cartoon trope, and that's not really a Bakshi exclusive. But yeah, no, and looking at Farnus, a lot of the influence here is a lot of the influence that's also being put here, taking pie cut eyes and kind of pushing it's like one of the influences on Farnus's design initially, and you can see it when I pull up another image of Farnus and some old friends he used to have, one of which he still does have, but still, is that you can definitely see how his mouth, it hangs over his eyeball and the bottom of his head, and you can definitely see that there's a line between the bottom of his head and his neck in this way that kind of reflected some older Flash animations that I would watch, where the design is simplified to such a degree that you literally paste things on top like little stickers. Like the mouth isn't really like a mouth, it's just kind of slapped on like a sticker, you know? And then in pushing for more uniform and like you know, fuller, complete design elements that make it feel more like a full creature in Solid, I decided, okay, we're gonna cut off, we're gonna forget that line at the bottom of the head, we're gonna fuse his head with his neck, which it used to be once upon a time in some really, really old drawings. And I also brought back the lower lip, but I also did it in this cartoonish way that kind of, we see you there, Scribe! Pew, 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 pew!
Yep, we see ya. Your cover
bang, bang,
has
bang,
been
bang, bang. But like, and he used to have a bottom lip as well. I have you now. Anyway, but like, and you can also see that I brought down the lower lip back in, but in a cartoonish way where, again, but it makes the mouth feel less pasted on. Boop. Boop, boop. And it makes it feel more like it's a part of him, much like the rest of him is. And then giving him the cheeks to emphasize that his mouth is actually having an influence on his face, you know, a smile is actually affecting it.
Yeah.
And I am definitely pushing for much more of like a 1930s Fleischer Studios influence by putting unnecessary creases in places to just add to the feel.
1930 style. I wonder why.
I know, right? I mean, it's an absolute mystery. No one could possibly solve it. But no.
I already did.
But like, no, and I feel like there's a life in that style of animation that I want to kind of put in. Reminds me of Pete's Dragon style. Yes, Disney also kind of has a bit of an influence on this overtly adorable looking motherfucker. I also initially designed him with the cartoonish flat teeth, but I wanted to push the cartoon series here to be less to have the appearance and the stylistic aesthetic of old Hollywood, because it's gonna be set in the 1920s now. But another thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to push for a certain consistency that made the world feel, lived in. So there's gonna be a whole unexplored but canon lore and backstory and religions and gods and shit, a whole history of this world that'll be understood, so that there can be, specific in-universe references that may superficially recognize to us oh, that's a reference to that old advertisement with the beef. Where's the beef? That sort of shit. Make references like that, but largely do them in an in-universe way, where it's here's name brand X or so.
Yeah. Everyone's just throwing water balloons in the chat now.
let them have fun.
Sorry, just don't make a mess.
But yeah, this is the kind of influence that my design is gonna take from now on. And I feel like it's one of those things where it's I would love my show to look a specific way. I would love for everything to be a specific way. I would love to be able to get 6 seasons in a movie, but no guarantees, right?
Yeah. That's something you really have to get into, and that's hard to get on its own. Disney has the love of doing 3 seasons, and that's it.
If I were to get I have stories. Paint-filled balloons, that sounds like a mess. Don't do it.
What did I just say?
Oh Lord. Anyway, but I have an idea for season 1 would have its own story that would take place in the senior year of high school. Then season 2 would be in college, and season 3 would kind of be like a small mini series. It would be less of a season, more like a half season, and it would basically culminate in a big change in the characters' lives. And then season
basically
4,
like MLP.
Yeah, but then season 4 onward would be the beyond school adult lives of these characters. And part of the thing is that I would make no compromises. For season 1, it would have to be the story as told, but I would love to give it a solid beginning, middle, and end where it feels perfectly satisfying, right? In a way where it's if this is where it has to end, if this is the only bit that we get to see of this story, then this is what we get. And the story that we get are these adorable children here. Well, I say children, but they're 18 when the series starts. Literally,
Be 18 again.
Right? Literally, as soon as school starts up again in January is when the first episode begins, and Josephine there has just turned 18 January 1st. They're forever your babies. That's true. I mean, 18 is a child to me now that I'm 26.
I'm 29. We'll be 30 in November. I mean.
All right.
I still remember when I was younger and I was like, oh, I'm 18, I'm the oldest. And now I'm going I want to be 18 again.
Comic, does that still make me a child? Yes, baby. You're still a child.
You're still baby.
Now go to your room.
But yes, I wish I can get more to like story writing. I've been struggling with the story and stuff for years. Like, if you can see with the character design, I've been doing it since like 2013, and that was like I was like 21, actually maybe in my early teens. If you see what I mean.
I mean, I suppose we could see what you mean. Now.
Let's say. There it is. Oh no, you can't see the dates. The years.
Yeah. Whoops.
Oh no. But yes, character design, it goes roughly. I think my influence has been more with Disney, and then I kind of try to deal with like Studio Ghibli-esque anime sort of thing.
I can definitely see that.
Yes. Ghibli's my life. I have a Totoro and I am happy. I have 2 cat buses and I'm happy.
She's definitely got an adventurous look about her. The shorter skirt, the higher boots, the fingerless gloves definitely gives her a vibe that she's not just going to be some lady in waiting or whatever she is. She's going out on adventures.
Yes, because my first goal was like when I first started, I wanted her to have the dress thing, but I then went like, wait a minute, she's gonna be walking around the woods. Why is she gonna have a long dress? That's gonna make things impossible.
Yep.
But I wanted to keep like the dress thing, but keep it shorter. Like I've done researches on stuff like that.
That's really cool.
Ladies do not start fights, but they can finish them.
Perfect, Mel.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yes.
Cat Bus was in a car short. What?
I'm gonna have to point out which car strip because I don't remember that. But yeah, no. The entire series now, for my characters, is going to be these two, and if the colors behind them didn't make it obvious, you can guess what happens in the first 5 episodes. Because like, if I want season 1 to be satisfying, I need like meet cute, 5 episodes of being nervous, and then they're basically together. Basically.
Yeah, I would like to do like a comic, like a sort of comic with this.
Weird Wolf, feeling
my
it. Weird Wolf, feeling it. Love you, man. I love you already. You haven't been here for very long, but I love you already.
Yep.
But the dealio, like the thing is, like, what I want to do is basically set them up that Josephine is an emotional wreck. Like right now, she's just she's not very well put together, and she feels like in the heat of the moment, like of having fun for the first time in a long time, she just up and kisses Dorothy right on the face, right on the mouth. And in the heat of the moment, she's like, oh crap. Like, I'm not emotionally ready enough to be in a relationship again. And so Dorothy says, take your time. And taking their time basically just means slowly over time. Like, take your time, we don't have to make anything official. And basically they just slowly but surely, like, over the course of maybe like 3 episodes, they get more publicly affectionate with each other. Like, it's basically gonna be like they never officially say the word girlfriends till like the back half of the season, but they slowly but surely do work that way, especially once Josephine is able to get past that nervousness of like, no, she couldn't possibly like me. No, I mean, like, she's beautiful and everything, but like, she couldn't possibly like me back. No, this besides, that's not even a thing I should be thinking about right now.
Yeah.
In that kind of mentality that she's in right now, she's not coming fresh off of a toxic relationship, but she's definitely still feeling the burns of one.
Yeah.
And not a toxic romantic relationship, just a really bad friend. There's a really bad friend. And I only want to say that because when it comes up, it'll be fairly obvious who the bad friend was. But like,
yes.
but there really is like a lot of twists and turns surrounding that. For the characters mostly, I think the audience should be able to pick up on what's going on, especially if you've been in those kinds of situations before. Because I'm really thinking about what is the mind of a manipulative asshole think. They think they're the center of the universe. This is the way they would talk. So like that's the kind of idea.
Yes.
I didn't have a crush in grade 12. From what it sounds like, that's the only difference between me and Josephine. I mean, you say that, but like Josephine has had 3 girlfriends before this. That's a part of her backstory, and I'll just say that outright because we may never get to season 2 or 3 and find any of that out, right? Or at least like it'll be mentioned offhandedly in something like season 1, but like it's one of those details that may never come up. But it's one of those things that I think about because, you know, I put a lot of thought into this. Like, I'm coming up with a religion of a pantheon of real deities in this world who have, like, dared to create the world that they all live in, and it results in such an alternate history that I'm like, well, how does magic work in place of technology? Is basically magic is the science that they use in order to make shit work. And it's like, okay, corporations use it in like a limited, come get it recharged for a fee, or like, or it breaks down, you basically gotta buy a new one kind of mentality, because same, different world, same shit, you know?
Yes.
But
the hardest thing I have with my story is like, it's like a fantasy-esque thing, but kind of like medieval, but I want to be like, try to not make it seem so cliche, if you know what I mean.
What I'm putting forth in this world is that gentrification in all of its assets is livable, but not everybody wants it on their turf. There's going to be a big fat mountain range in order to prove it.
Yeah.
The natives of the country that will become Ananthia, which is named after Nan, who was the 7th goddess, who was not one of the original 6. So that's going to be an interesting bit of like CE, BCE kind of thing. Nan is the center of that. She kind of fills the timeline role of Jesus without actually being Jesus. She fills that place in the timeline where it splits from counting years downward and then counting years upward. But like the 7th goddess, so they name the country like after her, they name the world after her, but there are a bunch of fawns already living on the land, and they're like, get out, and they're like pointing their magic hands at them, being like, get out, as intimidation, which they're hunters, they hunt game in order to feed themselves and shit like that, and then the bunch of these white guys and dragons are like, oh, wizards, wonderful. We know you guys. We know guys like you. Can we share and share alike, or something like that? And then they're like, no. Eventually push does come to shove, but like when the white leaders try to manifest their destiny, the fawns unite, all of the fawn tribes unite in lieu of their differences to build a big fat fuck you mountain range in order to stop them from pushing west. And so Ananthia is just a cute little sliver of land on the edge of this giant mass. That's America. It's just the original 13 colonies sliver right there.
America.
That's it. that's Ananthia for you. I would watch the hell out of the LGBTQ people in a Rick and Morty style chaos show. Yeah, you know, I didn't get into Rick and Morty because Rick just was a bit much for me, but honestly, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. Rick and Morty is just not the thing, and I think I kind of was like I don't want anything to do with it after that whole McDonald's Szechuan sauce thing.
I didn't care about that because stupid idiot fans are going to be stupid idiot fans. But like, it was McDonald's choice to bring back the sauce. Ultimately, like they didn't have to do that, right? They did not have to do that. That was their fault. that was McDonald's fault. Like, the incessance from the fans was the fans' fault. Basically, the show had nothing to do with it. Like McDonald's, like sure, like they made the Szechuan, like Rick and Morty made the Szechuan sauce a meme, and McDonald's thought, let's capitalize on it. Not their smartest idea, I guess.
Yeah, but I felt so bad for the workers.
I feel bad for them too, but like at the same time, it's like you gotta call out the problems where you see them, like
True. Maybe it's just because I sympathize with them more because with working in retail for nearly 5 years.
It definitely helps. And it's not like I don't sympathize. I've worked in an environment where like I had to interact with people like frequently. I worked at the cash register at a few places. It's like, just please don't be mad at me. Please don't be mad at me. Blah, 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 stuff like that. Like, let's just make sure that this goes smoothly and that our day is going well, let's make sure everything's nice for everyone.
Okay. Well, the Szechuan sauce happened before COVID started? I think it was before COVID.
Yes, it definitely was.
Yeah, because after COVID, I think people got even meaner and ruder.
Ugh. Disgusting.
From my experience. Yes.
I think
but
I think Szechuan sauce is the perfect place to leave this off. But next week I want to do something super interesting. For all you guys who have DVDs or some websites, wink wink, or maybe even Disney Plus for all we care. Next week we're gonna do a live watch together like a family, and I'm going to pull up the premiere movie of the Disney Junior original series Sophia the First. Because it's animated. I watched it when it originally came out, and you know what? I think it would be really fun to talk about it because I haven't watched the show in a long time, but my memories of it are like, at times, this show was fun. I mean, My Little Pony was a freak accident for getting the audience that it did, but Sophia the First was never going to be able to do that. Like, it was going to be a Disney Junior show for all intents and purposes, but I watched it for a good time, just trying to make sure that, Disney, you're not teaching terrible morals to children, are you? So...
yeah, we just gotta be careful of copyrights.
That's why I'm probably gonna do that stream solo and mute my audio channel, and I'll just like keep it off screen entirely. So we're just gonna have to all hit the play button at the same time and not pause it for anything. That's gonna have to be how it is.
Ooh, that's gonna be interesting.
It certainly will be. But until next week, thank y'all so much for joining me. And if you're watching this after the fact, thanks for watching. And remember to take care, stay safe, and...
and don't do drugs?
That's a good one. Be kind in all that you do, everybody. Good night!
Good night.
Alright, that's great. Don't do drugs.
I was like...